All right, what's going on, everybody? This is a last little promo webinar here before we get into the master course, which is starting tonight. We have a couple spots left to fill up for the course. Remember, you are getting a fat discount here if you check out by the end of day today. Otherwise, then we're going back up to the previous price of $3,000. You're getting the course for $2,000. And again, we focus on tape reading, options pricing, how to select the right options, how to select the right expiration, timing, how to put it all together, and then, of course, a big section here on trading psychology. Today, however, we're going to talk a little bit about instincts. And this is going to be one of the most difficult parts that, you try to master here. Guys, you have the link for the master course, too. Go ahead and check out the website. Instincts. Okay, how do you, number one, like where did I develop my instincts in the beginning? How do you sort of develop those on a day-to-day basis? And then how do you use those instincts to make the right trading decisions during the day? I'll give you the biggest place where I sort of started with my sort of trading instincts. And it was when I was like a year into trading, maybe like a year and a half into trading. And I wasn't making that much money. I wasn't even, I would make maybe $5,000 or $10,000 and then I'd give it all back. And, I would run through that kind of situation over and over again. And it wasn't until I realized that, and this is something that I show, a lot of the traders that I go through during the class. This is basically a sheet of when I started back in 2006, 2007 of trading. This is actually my first month of trading. You can see a couple $100 here and there. March here, down $1,000. I wasn't making money. I put down $5,000. And I'm just trying to figure this out, just like you guys are trying to figure it out. And where did it sort of click for me? It didn't click until sort of January the following year. This is the first time I sort of really made some bank. And once you start making some money, you start believing you get over the hump. You know what I mean? You start believing that, the problems that you used to have, you're never really going to have anymore, And unfortunately, that's not the case. That's never the case in trading. It really isn't. It is a constant learning experience because the market changes. The market changes every single day. The market changes every single week. New environments come in, new rotations come in, new styles, new programs, new algorithms come in, new market-making strategies. Things change all the time, and you have to understand these changes or be able to understand these changes and put yourself in a position to be able to understand these things. And this is why you can never sort of rest on your heels here. And the one thing that I realized, and you can see February, go right back to losing money. March here, make some money. 10 grand here. April, make a little bit. May, lose a little bit. June here, make a little bit, and I just kept going on like this, right? And I would have, once I had this, and I remember these days, and I remember how sort of euphoric I was. And remember, I didn't even trade options at this time, right? I'm just trading fucking equities, and I'm just pissing around, 500 lot, 1,000 lot, and you can see how many shares I'm trading on the day. I didn't know anything about the options at this time, and this was all the way back in 2008. Me making this kind of money, I was a kid. I was 24, and me making that kind of money, I was like, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? I got this shit. I got it all figured out, And then I would have a month like this, and then look at the next month. Boom, I'd take it up the ass, basically. Okay? And, this is that sort of cocky nature. This is what emotions start doing to you as you start trading and as you start making money. And over time, you start realizing and start understanding your own emotions and how far you go up and how far you go down, what kind of makes you tick, what makes you perform better, what environment makes you perform better. What I figured out after all this stuff, and this is when I kind of left the prop firm and went to trade on my own and I went to swing trade, was that the money doesn't matter. And I was so attached to the money, right? I was so attached to making $2,000, $5,000 a day. If I made, if I had a $30,000 month, the next month had to be 50,000 or 100,000. I was too focused on the dollars. And once I stopped focusing on the dollars and I started just looking at the tape, time and sales in level 2, just to make my trades in and out and not looking at my P&L, that's when my instincts really started to kick in. How many of you guys look aggressively at your P&L, and oftentimes your P&L kind of pushes your emotions left and right, and subsequently you end up in sort of a cascade of bad decision making, right? Does that sound familiar to anybody? I'm sure it does for most of you guys, as it was for me. Okay, so oftentimes what happens if you're stuck on your P&L and you're up, let's say $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever, you start thinking about your life, right? You start thinking about how much money you've made on that month, or how much down you are, right? And how much you have to make back. And all these stupid ass emotions start coming into the picture where you can't control at that point. And then subsequently, you're going to just start making some bad decisions. And this is what I realized was sort of the ethos of, some of the bad decisions that I was making. And the reason why I couldn't just have a great month like this and then keep that money, right? So my problem was never making the money. My problem was always keeping the freaking money. So then it was like, okay, clearly, it's an emotional thing at that point, because I know what the fuck I'm doing, right? I know how to make money. The question is then how do I keep it? And all that came down to instincts. All that came down to just managing my, expectations and emotions while I'm sitting there trading, but most importantly, focusing on the tape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an example, right? So you guys are going to get a nice fat example here of Netflix today. How many of you guys traded Netflix today? Anybody trade Netflix today? Netflix was really active, and this is my blotter basically for the day. And you can see I was basically really active in the Netflix for most of the session, right? And then most of these were on the call side. You can see the 195 calls, and I was also playing puts as well. Okay, and I want to get the actual order price that they were filled at. I guess we can just see vaguely. This was the price that I sent the order. This is not the actual fill here, but we can go through this lightly here. Okay, so right off the open here, 10:30. Let's just take a look at the Netflix, right? So what I was thinking on the Netflix was that if it couldn't drop, right, if the market couldn't tank, and again, I'm always looking at the SPY, if the SPY couldn't take Netflix down, it's like, okay, where is going to be the pump here? Okay, and then another thing happened here in the morning. So through the feed here we have, you'll see, and actually let's scroll back up here. There was a lot of action on 195s here in Netflix this morning. And let's see, boy, there's a lot of nonsense here to scroll through. I don't know what he's got going on. This is 9:04, 23:10. No, that was yesterday. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this. Let's hope so. Yeah, I don't know why. It cut off here. So I'm only getting this. Charlie, you want to see why I can't go back here? Okay, so, I mean, long story short here, and I'm going to go ahead and show this in a different way. Let's take a look at these 197.5 weeklies here. So this order came off in the morning, and Jesus flagged it in the room. And this was something that we were taking a look at aggressively. So take a look at this guy right here, right? So some guy comes in and buys 450 contracts of these options at 70 cents. These were 197.5 calls off the open, right? Stock's doing nothing. We're down here. Remember, none of this shit has happened. And I'm looking at this order like, who the fuck is this guy, right? You know, so this guy's obviously playing a little bit of a bounce here. Now, he comes in and buys 70 cents. Immediately, you know, we start playing around with this thing, okay? So let's take a look at the same timestamp here when we were trading it, right? So this timestamp here is about, what is this? This is about 10 o'clock. So let's take a look at 10 o'clock here on us, right? So 10 o'clock, you see me, right? So I'm starting to test the waters, right? So I'm going market in this 195 call. and that thing was trading, you'll see right now, you'll see it at around, yeah, you'll see it at around what, 120, yeah, somewhere around 120 to 140, somewhere around here. So this is me starting to buy some of this stuff and just starting to test the waters a little bit. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about as far as the instincts here. Okay, so now I'm long 195 calls, and I'm long about 20 contracts. Okay, and whatever. Let's say I get a fill of 135s or 130s, and then look at me selling here. Okay, so now I'm throwing out sell orders here at 120, at 118, and 113. Why? Because I no longer like the trade anymore. So this is the instinct part of it. So it's like, if I don't feel good about that tape at that moment, I'm instantly going to bury it for a small bit of a loss, right? So 20 contracts here, I'm losing 10 cents here, I'm losing 10 cents there, right? So I'm losing about what? 200 bucks here and there. I don't give a shit about 200 bucks until I really find that move, right? So I'm still plugging around at this thing, okay? So remember, this is that 195 call, and it looks like it doesn't really start moving until around 11 o'clock, okay? Because this thing just starts doing nothing. I pull this thing up at around like 192.80, and immediately I just start buying everything, right? So you can see me here, buy it all, right? So I'm getting filled 130s, 135s, 140s. I'm getting filled everywhere. And then you see these sell orders, okay? 150, 170, 175, 180, and I'm selling all the way up here. Now, I caught this move here, and then there was another move to catch. I went to the gym here, and I missed this whole freaking move. But what I'm saying about instincts is that you got to plug around here through this, and you can't get married to these things, If the shit doesn't look good, that's it. You burn it. You get the hell out. Just because this guy comes in and buys all this, buy all this out of the money weekly, it doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. It really doesn't mean shit, okay? You could sit here and follow this guy, and this option goes down to freaking zero, okay? That's going to happen a lot too. If your time in sales does not confirm your buy, okay, does not confirm the fact that people are going to want this option higher because the stock is about to freaking ramp, okay, then you got nothing. You got absolutely nothing, okay? So I'll plug around a lot, and you can see here, guys, that I was even on the put side, okay? I was even on the put side with this thing. So look at this. I'm jumping around on the put side, and this was up until 11 o'clock, right? So I was still messing around on the put side thinking this stock was going to dump right here, So that's me right here playing for the put move, right? And then bailing on the put move, bailing and losing a couple $100 here and there, okay? And then I come back in Netflix and make $2 grand on the thing, okay? Because I had 50 contracts here and caught it for 40 cents, So you're plugging around, you're losing, that's okay. You're taking your small losses. When you feel like you got that move and this thing is starting to move, which, by the way, the tape lined up and it did, you're going to make your money back, okay? That is what I'm talking about by instincts, okay? And this is a difficult thing to conceptualize, but for most of you traders here who do intraday trading, this is where you live, The swing trading is not that far off, but you're just going to adjust over a longer time frame, and you're just going to adjust over a wider range, okay? And you look at it, buried this option here again, the 197.5, off that move down to what, 193.5, right? They buried this thing. And then you got a monster move up on the second leg and the third leg, okay? And all this after the fact is tape. So once I make a trade, all I'm doing is looking at the time and sales and seeing if there's enough buyers or sellers to justify whatever trade that I'm making, okay? If there's not, guess what? Burn out completely. Just burn out, take your loss, fuck it, okay? This is something that is quite difficult for a lot of people to do, because what ends up happening to most people is that they'll have a month like this, or they'll have a day like this, and then the next day what happens, right? They burn the whole thing because they end up holding shit, okay? You guys end up holding stuff because you get married, you get attached, and that's where it all just kind of cascades for you, okay? So that is a perfect example, guys, of what I mean by trading instincts. Okay? Now, last component here is how to protect yourself from your instincts when they aren't resulting in profitable trades. Okay? Now, what does that mean? All right? And we just kind of alluded to it before. What does that mean? That means that you get married to you know, whatever thing that you've been doing, whether it's been working or not, most likely not, and then you keep doing the same thing every day. Okay, so one of those habits might be just holding on to a loser. Okay, let me give you another example of some trades I made today. Okay, let's take a look at this Goldman Sachs. Okay, this Goldman Sachs was pretty good. JP Morgan, by the way, I was buying at 80 cents, selling up here at $1.20. This option went to $1.30. The Goldman Sachs was really good. I was buying, what was I buying? 160s and change. This thing actually went down. I kept buying at 120. And then it came back to 175, and then the option went to friggin' 2 1/4. Okay, but let's take a look at this call, right? Let's take a look at this call. So let's take a look at the Goldman for the day. Okay, and I was in the 245 call. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, so through this whole move here, you know, I'm sitting there buying through it. Why? Because you know, most of the other banks were rallying pretty well. Citigroup and all that kind of stuff was rallying. But if you notice, while JP Morgan was rallying, this Goldman Sachs was still kind of pushing lower. So it just took a little bit longer. It took a little bit longer, okay? So this is one major problem of most traders. They'll start buying shit like this, and they'll hold it, okay? And they'll sit there and hold it, okay? This is when your instincts are telling you to go, because you're looking at the tape just like everybody else. You're looking at the sellers just like everybody else come in, but you're choosing to hold it, okay? You're choosing to hold it. Now, at any point here, at any point, there might not be any bid that comes back in these options. There might not be any bid that comes back in these stocks. Have you truly accepted it? No, because you're attached to what you're seeing. Your instincts, you're already blocking out your instincts, and now guess what? Your habit is now to hold on to winners that turn into fucking losers, and they turn into bigger losers and bigger losers and bigger losers. You guys want to see one of my largest losers, I guess, for the last 2 months was Snap. Okay, so let's take a look at these December Snap calls, right? So these things were, I think I was buying, yeah, I was buying these 17s, okay, and I was super heavy in this shit, right? And I was like, after this move right here, I was like, that's it. This thing's gonna go. And I'm going to see this. I'm going to sell this thing at freaking 18 or 19. And look at this shit, right? The more you get married to it, the more you get married to it. And by the way, what happens when you get married to it, right? What do you do? Anybody want to throw a suggestion out there? What happens when you get married to something happening? And remember, you're not even looking at this shit anymore, right? Your instincts are off, and you're just reading the wrong thing. So you're not even looking at the stock. You're not even looking at the stock. You're not looking at anything. You know what you're married to? You're married to the perception that the stock is going to go where the fuck you want it to go, right? And in reality, you're just a shithead who is married to his own idea, which the market doesn't give a shit about, right? The market is telling you, hey, buddy, there's no more buyers here. You know, you can keep buying this as much as you want, but we're going to keep selling. We're going to keep selling. Okay, so yeah, Benny Blanco's got you defend the losing position, right? So what do you do? What do you do when you defend? What do you do when you're married to it? What do you do when you're too attached? Blanco, anybody else? What do? You think you just hold on to it? I came in with 100. I kept buying. I kept buying, right? You get delusional, right? So you start buying. You start buying more. You start buying more. You start buying more. You start buying more. And pretty soon, there's no buyers whatsoever on this thing, right? You ignore all signs whatsoever. And these are one of the biggest habits that I see where folks are really just kind of getting away from their natural instincts to buy and sell. Once you don't have any buyers anymore or sellers, whatever it is that you're looking for, you know, that's it. The game is over. Now, the next question, obviously, that I'm going to start getting is how do you know when the buyers and sellers are gone? And this is tape reading, guys. This is tape reading. This is again what we preach in the course. This is everything that we've put together for you. All of this is about tape reading, okay, and about some of the flow trading. Guys, if those Netflix options didn't hit from somebody else in the morning, somebody else threw a $100,000 bet on some weeklies on Netflix, 5 points out on a fucking Tuesday, out of nowhere, this guy paid 60. Why is that guy doing that, right? So now all of a sudden you take it to the tape and you're like, oh shit, this thing's got some buyers. This thing's getting interesting. Let me go ahead and try some. And then you're just looking at the tape. You're literally just sitting there looking at bid and ask and seeing if it's supportive or it's not. How supportive is it? Okay, how are the options reacting? How are the other stocks doing? Are the other tech stocks doing well? Okay, you add all that together, how are the indexes doing? And now all of a sudden, you got a fucking trade where you can make 50% on your money, 100% on your money, and that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's the whole thing with instincts. If you don't have those instincts, which by the way are guided by solid ability to read the tape and read the size in front of you. And again, this is why I always preach tape. I don't give a shit about charts. You notice I don't have indicator. I don't have any of that bullshit. All I have is bid and ask. All I care about is bid and ask. Do I have the buyers to support the perception of this option? Because all these options are perception. That's it. Okay? Is the perception real or is it bullshit? Okay? And in order to understand whether that's a yes or no, or if I could get something, it all comes down to my time in sales. That's it. That's what all comes down to. Okay? Benny Blanco was saying, can you get footprints on options like futures? Yes, absolutely. 100%. Tape applies to anything with a bid and ask. By the way, if you want the cleanest tape out there right now, check out crypto, baby. Check out the crypto markets. If you take a look at the bid and ask and a level 2 on any of the cryptos out here, you know, you'll find some huge buyers and sellers that really move the markets. Okay, so again, what are we talking about here as far as instincts? You know, it takes time. It takes time to develop those instincts. It takes time to understand the triggers that kind of push those instincts in one direction or the other. And again, this is why we put together the class for you. If you don't believe us, go ahead and check out some of the testimonials that have been thrown out there. I think Charlie will go ahead and send you some links. Charlie, if you want to send them some links for testimonials for previous folks who have taken the course. They've all changed the way they perceive and look at the markets, right? And all of it is tied towards building your instincts so that you can avoid shit like this, okay? This is what you want to avoid because this is the account killer right here. This is the account killer, okay? You can make as many good trades as you want to, but if you make 1 or 2 of these or 3 of these or whatever the hell it is, that's it. Your account is dusted, okay? So, again, it's about putting yourself in an environment where you listen to those instincts and you develop those good habits, okay? And trying to zero in on the bad habits, aka shit like this, that really sort of destroy your accounts. And that, by the way, you know, how to protect yourself from those instincts when they aren't resulting in profitable trades. Unfortunately, the only solid answer to this is destruction, right? Again, I believe 100% in the chaos theory, right? Nobody gives a shit about anything until chaos fucking happens, right? You're not going to change the bullshit that's going on in your life until the bullshit gets so bad that it's slapping you in the face every single morning when you wake up. Okay? Same thing in trading. You're not going to wake up and all of a sudden start listening to these instincts if, number one, you don't have the tools to even see them properly, or number two, you know, it's not desperate a need enough for you to do so. Okay? So you're going to keep making trades like this, aka buying some shit way up here at $1.30 and then watching the preem go down to 50%, 60%, 70%, 80% discount while you're sitting there holding the freaking bag, okay? You got to make enough of these trades here to realize, okay, I need to do something. Now, what you need to do is take the fucking course. That's what you need to do, all right? So, Charlie, hit him up with the links. Again, class starts tonight. We got a couple spots left here for tonight or for the course. Remember, it's 12 classes in total, plus 4 live trading courses as well. So you guys are going to sit there and watch me trade live as well. And then you're going to get a whole class on my writing strategy. I write options aggressively, and I do it during low volatile periods or, you know, directional sort of periods where I can easily collect $1, $2 a premium, you know, sort of every week to add some income to my sort of trading account here. Okay, you're also going to get 1 month free of the Steam Room too, and you'll get some bonus content as well. Introduction to options here. And Charlie, are we throwing in the Wise Guy Revealed as well? Guys, if you have any questions in particular too, be sure to email charlie@sanglucci.com. He's also in here if you guys want to speak to him directly. Just go ahead and give a quick shout out, and we'll go ahead and do that for you. Now, any questions? Any questions at all? Mike Buchner here is asking, are you looking at bid and ask on the option, underlying, or both? Bro, gotta look at both, man. You gotta look at both, okay? So if I'm sitting there making a trade here on Goldman Sachs and I'm trading this option, okay, let's say I'm trading this Goldman option right here, okay, I'm aggressively looking at the tape of the stock as well as the option, okay? There's so much juicy shit you can pick up while you're trading an option and watching the stock, okay? One of the cool things that you might be able to pick up is that as the stock is floating higher, maybe your premium on your option is not going up anymore. So therefore, you know, that volatility might be just kicking up a little bit too high, and the stock really has to outperform for you to be able to get this option any higher. If so, sell now, shut the fuck up, and come back later. You know, wait for a dip, okay? You know, there's little things that you can just pick up. Again, that's all going to add to your instincts. But you need the skills to be able to read the tape, in order to hone those instincts to be where realize, like Mike, you're talking about split seconds here. You know, you're literally talking about your eyes glued to this that are literally just going to react. They're just going to react to market maker spreads. You guys will start picking up on how the market makers move the spreads. They play games all the time. So if you know how the market maker is playing games, maybe they're trying to get you to pay up, you know, for an option, and there's no bid to sell to. You know, there's a lot of games that you can pick up to as you're sitting there reading the tape. But again, you wouldn't know shit about this unless you look at it. So, Mike, does that answer your question? Benny Blanco is saying, can you get footprints in options like future? Already answered that one. Martin is saying, so are you day trading stocks through options? Dude, I mean, I'll day trade stocks. I'll day trade options on stocks. I'll swing trade options. I'll mess around with stocks. Like, I don't give a shit, okay? Just find me something with some money. That HMNY, that shit that I'm sure you guys all know about. This was a great short. I shorted this thing at 28, and I covered 24, but I should have freaking held it. You know, but I'll short stocks too. You know, it doesn't matter. This thing is, by the way, down to 12 bucks. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. Anyways, any other questions? Martin here is saying the main trigger of your trades is tracking big block option orders hitting the tape. No, Martin. Hell no. Okay? The triggers, you know, these trades are just guys like me, bro. You know, half the time, like sometimes when I'm making big trades out there, I come out on the board too, bro. I'll come out on this board. I'll come out on this board on a Bank of America sweep lot for 80,000. Okay, so Martin, like this could be me right here. Okay, any of these orders could be me. All right, it's all people that are out here just making bets. Okay, that's just one idea. It's just an idea, Martin. So no, the main trigger of my trades is not block orders. I don't give a no. It's all tape. God damn it, tape. Spell tape right now, Martin. Spell it. Man, I had problems with your name before, man. I usually don't have problems with names like that. You know what I mean? Velchko. I'm going to go with that one. What are your thoughts on different market makers when tape reading? This is a game that you would only understand by watching. Sometimes, number one, you got to understand, like a market maker is going to spread out over, you know, multiple exchanges, okay? When you have, let's say, a guy like me come in and wants 200 contracts, how am I going to look? You think I'm going to look like 200 contracts spread out over 6 exchanges? I'm not fucking fast enough. You need algos for that shit, okay? You need all kinds of algos for that. No, I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb. If I want 200 contracts of this option right here, you know, I'm going to put in an order for 200 contracts at, let's say, $1.60, and I'm going to put it on one exchange, okay? That's where I'm going to throw it out there. You know, so I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. You're going to be able to see me. So just like that, bro, you can see a lot of other stuff too. You know, I'll see huge orders going off on Netflix. Dude, there was this one option today. Let me find it. Okay. All right, I'll give you a perfect example. All right. And this is going to take me a little bit. It's going to be a little bit difficult for you guys to conceptualize, depending on where your skills are. I'm assuming You know, you guys are kind of herbs. This guy right here. Was it this guy? Might have been this guy. $160 right here. So on the way up, I saw a huge 300 lot sell order, okay? And this guy's there for about 300. Yeah, this guy's for about 300. Yeah. Okay, so I saw about 300 contract order on the offer, right? That was sitting there. Okay, so if we pull this thing back up, and again, you got to kind of conceptualize it. It was this option right here. The offer was like $160. Somewhere it was like $159 or something like that. And I saw the fat 300 contract seller right here. And I was like, yo, what is this dude doing? And maybe it was a call sell. You know what it was? Maybe it was a call seller that was trying to get the hell out. I don't know. Or maybe he was trying to average down. I have no idea what he was trying to do. But at the same time, I'm sitting here watching this thing. At the same time, I saw the order get filled. Wall Street Jesus posted in the chat room that there was activity on the 195s. And I saw that order go off. I saw somebody buy the 300 lot, and that's this guy right here, you know. So I saw that order go off, and lo and behold, you know, Jesus goes ahead and throws it into the chat room, okay? So again, if you're the tape reader, you're getting it before everybody else. You just have to understand how to read it, okay? I saw a huge buyer smoke 300 contracts on the offer, and I'm like, holy shit, buy this, let's just fucking buy this, okay? And then I caught a move here up to 180, okay? Now, granted, I sold out like a punk, and I missed this whole shit, and I went to the gym. Fuck the gym, you know, who cares about the gym? And, you know, missed out on this whole freaking leg. But, you know, the game is still there. Now, had I have been here, shit, it would have been a different story. Martin is saying tape reading means watching realized trades on stocks or option contracts. You're watching everything. You're watching the quotes. Remember, these are quotes, and then you're going to get your transactions too. So you're watching the transactions, you're watching the quotes, you're watching the, you know, the prints and all that kind of stuff. But again, like, it's a sweet science here, Martin. You need me for a good 4 or 5 days here on this shit in order to get it, okay? But again, feel free to pick it up yourself, bro. Feel free. Blanco is saying, do you trade futures? I do. I'll trade ES every once in a while. I'll trade that shit overnight, you know. I'll trade it overnight every once in a while if there's some juice or whatever. But yeah, ES is fun to trade. It just trades like water, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can easily get in and out of shit. You know, there's really no blocking to, like, I could dump $1 million, you know what I'm saying, in ES without breaking a sweat, bro. You know what I'm saying? If I tried to get $1 million of a Netflix option, like, dude, I'd be on every scanner. Nigerian would be on CNBC being like, oh my God, look at the options activity in Netflix. Da 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 da. And he'd fuck up my trade anyway. Whatever. Any other questions? Any other questions at all? Martin here, that help you out? Octavius is saying, how often are these courses? Bro, you know, I don't do them that often, man. You know, sometimes I feel like sharing and helping people. Other times I don't want to fucking talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Other times I'm focused on my own thing and doing my own thing. So sometimes we go in and out, man. You know what I mean? So if you are a subscriber, though, you are a lifetime subscriber. You get these, you know, you get these, and you can retake the classes too. Charlie here, I think, just hit you up and said usually once every 2 months. You know, it depends. It depends. You know, so but sometimes I'll go ghost. I mean, Charlie, how long was it before we started doing classes again? How long of a break did I take, Charlie? Velchko here is saying, any difference between exchanges? Bro, there's tons of differences, man. There's tons. What do you think the difference is? Well, you want me to school you on that too? How much free information do you want, bro? You want me to send you the course? That's what you want me to do? There's tons of differences, okay? What do you think they are, bro? You answer it. What do you think they are? Why do you think they even exist? Why do you think all these things exist, okay? It's about money, damn it. Remember, these are for-profit exchanges, okay? They make money every time you fill here, okay? So how much incentive do you think they're going to throw out there for you to fill on SIBO, for you to fill on Philly, for you to fill on NAS, for you to fill on Miami, okay? All of these have different commissions and fee structures. This is all public information, by the way. You can pull up each exchange, and you can find out the fee structure for options and for equities. If you limit, if you add liquidity, or if you take liquidity. Do you know what the maker-taker rule is? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you know what you don't? You see, you don't know. So you or her, and take the course. Shut up, and I'll see you tonight. Spankin here is saying, do you ever use level 3 total view? I try to, but we have scanners for that. You know what I'm saying? So we pick up what we want to pick up. So we've already built these proprietary scanners, Elroy, to pick up what we want to pick up. I mean, the universe of data, Elroy, that you could get for block trade activity, for equities and options. I mean, it's fucking expensive, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we opened up the pipeline for all the data that we get, you wouldn't even be able, there'd be like 9 million orders here. You know what I'm saying? Remember, like, we're talking about trillions of dollars get moved every single day. You know what I mean? You'd see everything. You'd see everything from the smallest block order to the largest one. And you don't want to see all that, Elroy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a point at which it's that diminishing return shit. You know what I'm saying? It's that diminishing returns thing, where it's just like too much is too much, So we focus on a specific type of activity that we filter for, and it works for us. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I don't even know how much level 3 costs these days. I'm assuming it's pretty pricey. What's it cost these days? Is it $200 a month? I thought it was like $200 or $300 a month or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's more. I don't know. Any other questions? Yes, remember, again, sanglucci.com/MC. And if you guys want the discount payment, in the sense that you can do 2 payments or even 3 payments, if you want to work out something, we've done different deals for a lot of people. So just come to us, let us know what you need, let us know how we can work it out for you. Yeah, so you can split the payments in half here, you guys, if you want to. So that's sanglucci.com/MC or MC2 if you want the split payments here. Any other questions at all before we close it up? Hopefully I'll see you guys tonight. I think the first class is at what, 7:30, Charlie? 7:30? 8? Something like that. All right. All right, sounds good. Well, we'll see you guys hopefully at 7:30. Take care, guys.